But yeah, yo, it's your boy Jonathan Whitfield, man. I did my. I'm doing the Don't Skip Breakfast a little late today. I usually do it in the morning times, and so I'm doing it a little late right now. But I call it Don't Skip Breakfast because, as you may see in my other videos, it's a play on words because, don't skip breakfast. It's breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? And so we're supposed to eat that to have our minds, our body, and our soul fulfilled. So I believe that when we wake up in the morning and we speak positively about our day and our life, that's our breakfast too. It's our breakfast for our bodies and our spirits and our thinking, because the words that we think, the things that we say, affects how we live. And as you see, people say put it out there in the atmosphere and in the universe and stuff like that. So you got to really speak life, man. So that's why I call it the thing Don't Skip Breakfast. But anyway, so I wasn't gonna do a video this week because I was just feeling a little down, man. Some things didn't go my way that I didn't necessarily want. Well, that I wanted to go, but so when my friend hit me up like, "Yo, what's up with the video, man?" I was like, "Man, I'll make an excuse." I was like, "Nah," what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're like, "Yo, chill, man. You got to push through that pain. You got to push through that." And it hit me. I was like, "Yeah, you're right." I got to stop giving up on stuff. I'm over here by this waterfall thing. I hear a lot of noise. So I was like, "Yo, you're right. I got to push through that, man." Because I love inspiration. I love inspiring people. So really what I want to talk about today is stop giving up on stuff and disappointment and depression. So a lot of times we tend to give up on things that's too hard for us, or things that we may want and we're trying to get, but it's hard. And so rather than fight for what we really want, we give up on it. And we never really get what we want, and we develop a mindset of giving up. We develop a loser's mindset. We develop a quitter's mindset, right? And I'm not talking about not giving up on stuff that's that's not gonna matter. I'm talking about real stuff that that can enhance your life, like your goals, different opportunities, things that you fight for. Anything that's worth having, worth fighting for. So if you give up on it, you're never gonna have it. You're never gonna have it. If you keep giving up on stuff, because like I said, giving up creates a loser's mentality. I'd rather fight for something and lose than not fight at all. This water just cut off behind me, but I'd rather fight for something and lose than not fight at all. Because if you fight for it and you lose, then you still know how far you can go. You know what you have to do. You know what you're made of. And I fought for plenty of things that I've lost before. But my thing is, I don't give up on things that easy. So when I do give up on something, to the people that know me, it's surprising to them, because I don't fight for anything unless I feel like it's worth fighting for. And so if you ever see me fighting for something, I feel like it's worth fighting for. But it hurts me when I give up on it, man, because I know when I have a goal, it's almost nothing nobody can tell me to deter from that goal. So the fact that I wasn't even gonna make a video today, my friends, they know, like, yo, the reason that you're not gonna do it is unacceptable for you, is unacceptable for us, because we know you, right? So you have to keep pushing towards your goal, man, because if you keep giving up, you're gonna develop a loser's mindset, and then your circle gonna develop a loser's mindset. That's why I don't even like being around people with a loser's mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have enough self-inspiration myself, but sometimes I do get down. But I like my friends to hold me to a higher standard. And so I rarely give up on stuff. But I have a tendency to put my hands into too many pots, right? And it kind of forces me to give up on some things. But I do notice that it was a time period when I was kind of giving up on everything. I'd try something a little bit and I'd just give up on it without even really giving it my all. And so a lot of times when we do give up on stuff, it's because we really haven't put our all into it. Or we kind of have doing it, and because we have doing it, it's not going the way we want it to go, right? And the fact that it's not going the way we want it to go, we give up on it. But my thing is, what would the results be if we gave each and every project or idea that we thought of our full ability, our full attention, we would really give on. I think the results would be phenomenal. But yet we kind of don't plan properly. And I say we, I'm speaking to myself, so sometimes we don't plan properly. So when we do step out to do that idea, the idea fails, or it doesn't go where we want, and therefore we give up on it. And the next thing we give up on, because we keep doing the same thing over and over and over, which forces us to give up. So my thing is proper planning and to really not give up on stuff. And the next thing I want to talk about is depression and disappointment. Now, sometimes giving up, it depends on what it is. It creates depression. It creates disappointment. And we as people need to learn how to deal with depression and disappointment, because it's really affecting our community in a very bad way. Because if you're depressed about something, you can't do anything in life. Your total joy is gone, right? When you're depressed, you feel like it's a constant cloud over your head. Depression is a very horrible thing. And we shouldn't mock people who are depressed or people who fall into depression, because it's easy to slip into depression. Most people slip into depression over relationships, because relationships take it's emotional. You put a lot into a relationship, put your spirit into it, you put your body into it, put a lot of mental thinking into it. So when something go bad in relationships, we get very emotional, right? Or we get very depressed. But how do we come out of that depression? We come out of that depression by speaking proper things into our life. We come out of that depression by really just moving on with our life. Now, that's easier said than done, because when you're depressed, all you can think about is the thing that has you depressed. All you can think about is, if this thing that I'm depressed about will be fixed, then I won't be depressed no more. But chances are, it's not going to change, because whatever you're depressed about it's probably going to stay like that, and you'll have no control of it. And that's a hard lesson for all of us. That's a hard lesson for me, because I put a lot of stuff into my all. Well, I put my all into a lot of things, and when it don't go my way, I get a little bit depressed sometimes. I be pissed off. I be upset. And because I'm used to winning, man. I mean, I know what losing feels like. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very competitive when it comes to everything. So, but there were times when I was depressed, and I got myself out of it through friends, prayer, meditation, most importantly, and just speaking positive things, telling myself that I can get past this. It was a daily process, each and every day. I had to tell myself, like, yo, you can get past this, man. You can do this. And I started to look inside my strengths. Sometimes we depress over things like I said, relationships are the biggest thing, because when you feel like if you love another person and that person doesn't love you back, or that person don't want you for whatever reason, it can be a very depressing thing. And all you can think about is, why am I not good enough? Or you with a company, why this company hired this person, not hired you, and you keep thinking about, why am I not good enough? Or you need to get into that school or something like that. It goes on and on. The list goes on and on. But the point is, when you are depressed, it's because it's like a lack of self-worth. Not saying you don't value yourself, but a lot of times that's the root of it. So to really get out of depression, you got to tell yourself positive things each and every day. That's why I call this thing "Don't Skip Breakfast," because you got to get up thinking positive things. It's a fight. You can't get out of depression by just sitting around being depressed. It's a daily fight to get out of depression. It's a constant battle, because the forces that be wants you to be depressed. Because when you're depressed, you can't do nothing, man. You can't make no money. You don't put your all into the things that you need to. Your family needs you. Your friends need you. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your husband or wife, they need you. But what good are you to them if you're depressed? Now, also with depression, whatever that thing that happened, there is a proper time for mourning, you know what I'm saying, and for, what's the word? It starts with an R. There's a proper time for just getting yourself together, all right? But there's also a time when that getting yourself together should be over. You got to get up and go about your business, right? That's hard for me sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, because when something don't work out my way, I get bothered, man, because I'm so used to it working, man. Or I'm so used to it fighting for it. I feel like I can make it happen. And when I can't make it happen, I don't know what to do. And I be like, yo, I be depressed. I be thinking, and I think myself into a tunnel. And people have to come slap me a couple times, like, hey, snap out of it, man. And stuff like that. And I do it here trying to highlight this girl, man. It's funny. I'm sorry. But anyway, she kept walking. But anyway. Um, Depression, man. You have to really snap out of it and get around people who speak positivity into you. You know, get around friends who know you. I ain't gonna say better than you know yourself, but who knows you better than anybody. A lot of times when I get down, I have very close friends to remind me who I am. You know, remind me of the things I've done. Remind me of my purpose, for one. So when you're depressed, you need to be reminded of your purpose, because we all have a purpose in life, all right? Because your purpose is very, very important. So most time when you're depressed, you feel like your purpose is worthless now. You feel like there's no reason for me to be here. I have nothing else to live for. Everything is coming down on me. And you have to get out of that state mindset, man, because it's very dangerous, because depression can linger and linger and linger. You know, it can turn into something extremely, extremely bad. And, you know, before you know it, you depressed one day, you depressed 2 days, you depressed 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, turn into a week, it turned into a month. You know, and they think, you know, you've been thinking about this one thing a whole year. You look up, you ain't no better than when you started. And that thing, or most time that person that you depressed about, done moved on. But that brings the next question in, why does things affect us so greatly, right? Why does things affect us so bad? We depressed so low. I think, especially when it comes to relationships, I think that I don't want to see we invest too much into people, but I would say that a lot of times we make certain people our happiness, right? Rather than God being our happiness, or rather than ourselves being our happiness. It's one thing to be happy with somebody. And if you with somebody, you should be happy with them. They should make you happy. And you should feel like it's a joy to be with them. But they can't be your happiness. Like, they can't be your source, right? Just say if you were dependent on that same person for food and water. What if that person leaves? What are you going to eat? So you can't depend on a certain person to be your happiness, although they can add to your happiness. When that person leaves, your happiness goes with them. I went through that before. You know, a person was my happiness one time. I didn't even know it, and the person left. I was shattered, man. I didn't know what to do, and that's a very dangerous thing for anybody. You know, we could be depressed. Another thing that affects us, affect our depression in a major way. Like I said, is jobs and stuff like that. We want to move on with our lives. You know, most of my age, I'm 30. My birthday coming up. I'll be 31 in a couple weeks. You know, most my friends my age, we think about life. You know, we thinking about where we want to go from here. We thinking about manhood, establishing ourselves. You know, getting better, making money, financing, making our families better. We thinking about this grown men stuff. You know, and a lot of times, as far as men, we can get depressed when those things not working out, because we fight hard every day. We put our time and effort. We know we brilliant, but we fighting every day. You know, and sometimes things just don't work out. You know, because life is a fight, man. You know, nothing's just gonna be handed to us. So we know as men that we have to fight for everything we want. So, and it's a daily process. You gotta put the pieces of the puzzle together. So for men, I would probably say for women too, but for men, especially my brothers out there, it's hard. We gotta put these pieces to the pieces of the puzzle together in life. You know, we have to add to, and as men, we held to a certain standard, man. You know, you gotta fight. You gotta be a man. You know, man can't be weak. A man can't cry. I mean, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do this, and that, and so you have to live up to those standards. I mean, nothing else is acceptable. However, when we don't hit the mark, it can be very depressing. You know, if you look around, you see other men got money, this and that, wives or whatever, and you don't have it, it can be very depressing. And so we need other men around us to lift us up. I mean, fortunately, I have some of my boys. You know, we've been going through this. Either I'm going through it or they going through it, and we can kind of lift each other up from time to time. You know, and that's very important that men come together and get each other out of depression, because we're already dealing with the stuff we're dealing with in society as black men, as men, period. You know, but when you forget about all that and just think about being a man, getting your family together, you know, marriage, kids, or whatever, that's your thing. If that's not your thing, whatever, it's hard. You know, and you need your brothers with you. You know, and depression and disappointment kind of go hand in hand. I don't really have to go into disappointment, but, you know, disappointment comes when you got the juice, right? You know you got the juice, and you've been fighting for like maybe a certain job or a certain title or a certain position, and you know you got it, and you don't get it. or they give it to somebody else less qualified. You can't figure out why. That's major disappointment. That disappointment can lead into depression because in life that tends to happen over and over and over. You know, a lot of these success stories out here, you hear about people, they try hundreds, maybe I ain't gonna say hundreds of times, but they try many times to get their own thing going or get that thing going, and they got denied, so they had to start their own thing. I think Microsoft is one of them, Apple is one of them. You know, there's so many stories out there, but the point is, you know, we can't give up because your idea, if you know you got the juice, if you know that you're great, and you are great because God said we are great, you're a human being, we got God inside of us, you can't give up. You can't give up on your dream, because there was a point in time in your life that the same thing you're dreaming about, you did it on a smaller scale. It may not have been on a national scale or a multi-million-dollar scale, but you might have did that same idea in your high school or something, or in your community, and it went perfect. You know, but it's a difference between trying to take the idea from your community and put it on a large scale. You know, but what I'm saying, when you know you got it, you can't give up, because everybody's not gonna recognize your greatness, your greatness, right? So it's like this: apples and oranges. You know, everybody don't like apples and everybody don't like oranges, but it doesn't mean the apple is any less great than the orange. It doesn't mean the orange is any less great than the apple. It's just what it is. You know, so when you get shut out and you get disappointed and stuff like that, don't give up, man, because you got to remember that you are great, man. You know, what you got inside of your soul, man, is what God put you on this earth for. But you just got to keep grinding, man. And that's what I'm learning every day. I got to keep grinding. I'm fortunate to have people close in my life, and I thank y'all, man, for to remind me to just keep grinding. You know, because they see the greatness in me, they see the positivity in me, and so they there to remind me, and I remind them too. So it's a cycle, man. We got to remind each other, because we already dealing with so much. And this day and age, you know, we're gonna have to start doing our own things anyway, right? Because 9 times out of 10, the people that you want to recognize your greatness may not recognize it. I'm talking like maybe big companies and stuff like that. We want to endorse us. As you can see, let's look at the music industry. A lot of people are going independent and they're making it. Chance the Rapper, I believe he's independent. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's independent, I believe. And he doing his thing. People trying to sign him. He like, yo, I'm kind of here already. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what can you do that I can't do for myself that's gonna take away? And that's not to say not go towards big companies and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that even if these big companies and these big names don't recognize you, you have to recognize yourself, right? Because iron sharpens iron, you know. And it's like you got to make yourself hot, because if you ain't hot by yourself, you're not gonna be hot with other people. If somebody recognize you, I mean, that's just the truth. And with anything I like in my life, anything I've done, as far as being successful in just my little small ways, in my humble small ways, I knew before anybody else said it that I could do it, and I never approached anything without knowing if I could do it or not. So by the time I stepped up to the plate, it's just like running a race. By the time I stepped up to the starting position, I knew, or I believed that I could win. Whether I won or not, I believed I could. I never stepped up to the starting line thinking like, man, I don't think I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna try anyway. And that's good to try anyway. I'm not saying, even if you don't think you're gonna win, you still should try. But what I'm saying is, develop a mindset of winning and not losing. Develop a winner's attitude. You know, I know a couple of my colleagues that I met, you know, when I came to grad school here in Atlanta. You know, I had a good winner's mindset, but these people had a winner's mindset. I mean, I got around these boys, man. They getting it done, you know. And they wasn't like super like popular or anything like that. They wasn't like super rich. They just had a attitude of winning. You know, even when I started to doubt a little bit, they're like, nah, man, chill. We got it. We gonna do it. You know, I appreciate it. And they rolled me. They upgraded me. Headphones came out, but yeah, they upgraded me, man. And I appreciated that. I'm personally, I'm humble enough to know when somebody else got the juice and I need to get a cup or the sauce, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I know when somebody else got the sauce man. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. You got to be humble, man. You can't think that you got it all, and when somebody else comes in there who has more, you be offended. My thing is, let's link together, or teach me what I don't know. Teach me what I don't know. You know, teach me how to have the sauce. For real, man. So that's another thing. Let's not, because we are very competitive people. You know, we doing good in our own way. Then we see somebody else who's doing better, we get jealous. You know, now this is different if that person trying to hinder you, but you know, I mean, if you don't want to ask nobody for help, that's cool. I'm not saying you have to. If you just believe you're gonna get to that level. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking to those of us who sometimes get offended by somebody who's doing the same thing we doing, but they're doing it to a greater scale, because we really don't know their story, and they don't know your story. You don't know that you're gonna, if you talk to them, that person may seem arrogant, or they may seem like, oh, they got it all, whatever. But if you talk to them, like, okay, I'm gonna use myself for example. It was something I was doing one day. I thought I had it, bro. I was like, y'all got it, man. You know what I'm saying? I got it. I was dusting my shoulders off, you know what I'm saying? And I met somebody else who was doing the same thing I was doing, but to a greater to a greater level. You know, and he kind of opened the door, not opened the door for him, but he kind of showed me what he was doing. I was like, man, you know, and I feel like I wasn't doing nothing. I got jealous a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I started hating. You know, and then I had to realize, like, why am I hating, man? You know, but then I started talking to him. He started telling me, you know, how he got the way he got. You know, he started telling me his struggles, his successes. And I don't know if I said it right, but forgive me if I said that wrong. But he started telling me about how he got to where he was, and after talking to him, I respected what he had to do, man. He was showing me some stuff, and I was like, that's what's up, man. And by me talking to him, it rose me to another level. You know what I'm saying? It helped me do what I did. And so I learned from that experience. I learned to talk to people who may know more, because I don't know it all. You don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. You may know a lot, but you don't know it all. It's always somebody who knows more. So you got to talk to people, man. Link up. Like I said, iron sharpens iron, man. When you put wood on the fire grows. You know, we got too many we got too many brush fires out here, and not collectively putting those fires together so we can win. You know, because when one of us is stronger, we all are stronger, man. Like, I just believe everybody should be strong in what they do and what they have and who they are, and add it to the pot like a gumbo. You know what I'm saying? And that way everybody wins. Everybody eats. Y'all seen that dude that was doing that deer thing? Everybody eats. Well, everybody eats for real, man. We gotta have that mindset of everybody eating, you know. But don't starve and have everybody trying to eat. But anyway, to get back to the point. Let's not give up, man. I have to remind myself that every single day. And I know in college, undergrad, I did a lot of great things, you know what I'm saying? And I think, personally, that was some of the heights of the great things that I was doing, you know? And after that, and go to a grad school is a bit different, because grad school is more individualized. It's personal. You either do it or you don't. You know, college, they kind of hold your hand a little bit. It depends on where you go, what teacher you have. A little bit. But grad school, you know, most of y'all know that it's no games. You know, either you do it or you don't. You know, and so you have to, whatever you're gonna do, you have to do it. So I took that same mindset from college to grad school, and it worked. It worked. But it challenged me too, because I was forced to duplicate that same success on the next level. And sometimes it doesn't mean that you're gonna duplicate that, you know, but you have to at least put the same effort in and get out what you're gonna get out of it, you know. And I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning. And but in college, it really gave me that spirit of not giving up, because I did things that I never thought possible. You know, now today I be speaking in front of people and crowds that I ain't think possible for me, because I used to be scared to talk in front of anybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I would rather cut grass than do a public speaking back in the day, and that's real. But through not giving up and pushing myself, because I really pushed myself back in the day, and I still push myself now. And I had a lot of fears, and I told myself, like, you know what, just get past them, man. Just try it. And day by day, I seen a lot of success. So people asking me questions. People was like, yo, how you do that? And I was glad to help them, because, hey, you know, I hope I'm not rambling, man, but the point is, let's stop giving up on stuff that we know that we can do. You know, plan it appropriately. So when you plan appropriately, a lot of times you don't have to give up. You know? And let's pull ourselves out of this depression that we get into sometimes, because as a people, we going through a lot of stuff in life. One of my professors at ITC, the great seminary in Atlanta, he said that most of the time in life, you know how we always say, "Oh man, I'm going through it. I'm going through it. I'm going through it." You know, he was like, "Yo, most of the time, 90% of the time, you're gonna be going through it, from birth to death. You're gonna be going through it. So you might as well get accustomed to it and just get accustomed to fighting." So he said, "You're gonna be going through more than you're not going through, right? So why not develop understanding, a mentality of how to fight that going through and how to swim through that, how to navigate through that? Because once you get out of one thing, you may go into the next thing." One of my homegirls said that, she reminded me the other day, I think today, that there's a devil on every level, right? So when you succeed on your level, you thinking that's it, or you think the grass is greener, you go to the next level, there's another devil right there trying to pull you down, man. So it's all the time together. So what I'm saying is, it don't matter where you are, you're gonna deal with something. So you might as well is develop the fortitude to fight through that. So because if you have it on the inside, it don't matter what level you go to, you're gonna be straight. You know, you gotta have an understanding of peace, an understanding of just a calm about yourself. And like I said, I mean, the stuff I'm saying, I be telling myself this every day. You know, since I don't want to sound like too preachy, even though I am a preacher, I'm a minister. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to sound too over the top, because everything that I say, I either been through it, going through it, or learned it. You know, I never talk about stuff that I don't know, or I haven't seen or haven't experienced. So you can bet that. But yeah, man. So yeah, this is the end of this. Don't give up, man. Remember, don't skip breakfast, man. Y'all keep checking me out every Tuesday sometime. You know what I'm saying? And YouTube and all that good stuff, man. 'Cause I'm speaking that positive stuff, that motivation. I don't skip breakfast. Is all about motivation and uplifting. Y'all know I talk about Black Power stuff all the time. You know that. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I just like to talk about motivation, inspiration, elevation. You know, just personal thing that we can do to help ourselves. Because everything I say, I tell myself every day, every night. So yeah, y'all stay blessed, man, and holla at your boy, man.